Welcome everyone. Today I want to give you something more valuable than any single grammar rule, vocabulary list, or pronunciation tip. I want to give you a system, a way of learning English that comes directly from the daily study habits of some of the smartest and most disciplined students in the world, Harvard students. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I'm not in Harvard. I don't have their professors, their libraries, or their resources, and that's the beautiful truth. You don't need them. What you do need are their habits, their mindset, and their methods, because those are the real reasons they learn faster, remember, longer, and perform better than most people. This is not one of those videos where I throw random English tips at you and hope something sticks. This is different. By the time you finish this video, you will know exactly how to set up your day, your environment, and your mind, so you can study English in a way that almost guarantees results. Why does this matter? Because most English learners are working hard in the wrong way. They sit down to study, but their mind is half somewhere else. They watch videos, but forget everything the next day. They read books, but can't use the words when speaking. This is why they stay stuck for years. Not because they can't learn, but because they don't have the right system. In this video, I'm going to take you inside that system. Step by step, I'll show you how to think, prepare, and study like a top student. Even if you have only 30 minutes a day, even if you're starting from zero, even if you have no teacher. And I'm going to start with something that might seem simple, but is absolutely game-changing for your focus, your memory, and your confidence. In English, habit. One morning prime. Habit. 1. The Harvard morning prime. Harvard students know something most people ignore. The way you start your day decides how well you will learn for the rest of the day. If your first hour is full of distractions, noise, and random scrolling, your brain is not ready to learn deeply. But if your first hour is sharp, intentional, and focused, you can learn twice as fast and remember twice as much. That's why they have a morning prime. A short but powerful set of actions to prepare their brain before studying. Here's how you can use it for English. 1. Set a target before anything else. Before you touch your phone, and before you check emails, decide exactly what your English goal for today is. It can be small. Learn 5 new words and use them in real sentences. Listen to one English podcast and repeat key phrases. Write 10 sentences without translating from my native language. Why? Because your brain needs a mission. Without it, you will wander, waste time, and feel unproductive. With it, you wake up with purpose. 2. Move to wake your mind. This is not about the gym. It's about waking your brain. Just 3 to 5 minutes of stretching, walking, or light exercises adds more oxygen to your brain, improving focus and memory. Studying without waking your body is like trying to run with your shoes, tied together. 3. Activate English mode. Never go directly from thinking in your native language to doing your hardest English task. Warm up. Read a short English text out loud. Repeat 3 to 4 sentences from an audio or video. Write a quick note about your morning in English. This tells your brain, we're speaking and thinking in English now. 4. Build your focus zone. Harvard students don't sit at messy desks with phones buzzing. They clear everything that isn't part of the study session. For you, that means 1 notebook, 1 pen, 1 resource. Silence notifications. Keep the space clean and distraction-free. When your environment is focused, your mind follows. When you start your day like this, you're not just studying, you're training your brain to learn. You will notice. You remember more. You need less time to understand. You feel more confident every time you study. Habit 2, deep focus session. Habit 2, deep focus session. The Harvard study secret. One of the biggest reasons Harvard students learn so much in less time is because they study in what I call deep focus sessions. This is not just sitting and studying. This is a controlled, distraction-free, highly intentional block of time where your brain is fully immersed in one task. Why does this matter for English learners? Because most people study with divided attention. They read a little, check their phone, watch a video, reply to a message, and then try to return to learning. Every time you switch tasks, your brain loses focus, and it takes minutes to get it back. Multiply that over a study session, and you've wasted more time recovering focus than actually learning. Harvard students avoid this completely. They designed their study sessions to eliminate all interruptions so their brain can go deep into the language. Step 1. Choose one specific task. Before you start, decide what your session is for. Not study English, that's too vague. Instead, I will spend 25 minutes listening to one English podcast and writing down 10 new phrases. I will spend 30 minutes reading an article and summarizing it in my own words. I will spend 20 minutes practicing pronunciation of 15 sentences from a movie scene. The time block. Method specificity is powerful because it gives your brain a clear mission. Harvard students never sit down thinking, let's see what I'll do. They know exactly what the next block of time is for. Step 2, the time block method. Harvard students often use a technique similar to the Pomodoro method, but they do it with serious discipline. Here's how you can do it. Pick a time frame, 25 to 50 minutes of pure focus. During this time, absolutely no distractions, no phone, no multitasking, no background chatter. After the time is up, take a short 5-minute break. This works because your brain can only maintain intense focus for a limited period. In that focus block, you work at 100% capacity. Then the short break refreshes your mind for the next round. Step 3, full immersion. During your deep focus session, surround yourself only with English. Even your break can have a light English element, maybe a short song, or thinking about the words you just learned. This helps your brain stay in English mode instead of switching back to your native language entirely. Step 4, end with an output. Every deep focus session should end with you producing something in English, speaking, writing, or summarizing. Harvard students know that learning is not complete until you can explain it back. For example, if you listen to something, say it back in your own words. If you read something, summarize it aloud. If you learned new words, make sentences with them. This final step locks the knowledge into your memory. When you practice this habit, you will see results that surprise you. You will learn more in 1 focused hour than in 3 distracted hours. You will feel more confident because you remember what you studied. You will make English practice a serious, productive event instead of a casual activity. Most English learners fail not because they don't study, but because their study time is too weak. Deep focus sessions fix that. Habit 3, active recall, the memory multiplier. Harvard students don't waste hours reading the same notes over and over, hoping they'll remember them. They use a scientifically proven technique called active recall. And for English learners, this is like turning on a turbo boost for your memory. What is active recall? It's the process of testing your brain to bring back the information without looking at it. Why is this powerful? Because every time your brain pulls information out of memory, that memory becomes stronger. Reading notes is input. Active recall forces, output is what makes the knowledge stick. Steps to active recall. Step 1, learn something small for English. This could be 5 new words, 3 grammar structures, a short paragraph from a news article. Step 2, close the book. Here's where most learners stop. They keep looking at the material until they think they've memorized it. But Harvard students close the book after reading and immediately try to recall what they just learned. If you learn new words, can you write them down without looking? If you read a paragraph, can you explain it in your own words? Step 3, self-testing. Harvard students constantly test themselves, not just at the end of a semester, but while learning. For English learners, self-testing could look like this. Listen to a sentence, pause, repeat it without reading. Ask yourself, what were the 5 new words I just learned? Cover the English side of your flashcard and try to remember the meaning. Step 4, repeat after time gaps. The key to active recall is spaced repetition, reviewing after increasing time intervals. Learn something today, recall it after 10 minutes, recall again tomorrow, recall again after 3 days, then after a week. This timing works with your brain's forgetting curve, refreshing the memory just before it fades. If you only read or watch, you'll forget most of it within a few days. If you use active recall, you train your brain to retrieve and use information, which is exactly what you need when speaking English. You'll notice you can remember words weeks later without reviewing them constantly. You speak more fluently because the words come to you faster. Your study time feels more powerful because you see real results. Learning by teaching. Habit 4, learning by teaching. The Harvard understanding method. One of the most powerful truths about learning is this: if you can teach something clearly, you truly understand it. Harvard students use this constantly. They don't just learn for themselves. They try to explain what they've learned to others. And here's the secret. You don't even need a real classroom or students to use this technique. You can do it alone. Why is this so effective for English? Because teaching forces your brain to organize information, find simple words to explain it, and check your own understanding. It turns passive knowledge into active ability. Step 1, learn something small. Don't try to teach a whole book. Pick a small, focused piece of English learning. For example, a grammar rule like present perfect tense, 5 to 6 new vocabulary words, a short story or paragraph. Step 2, close your notes. Once you've learned it, put away your book, notes, or screen. The idea is to explain from memory, not by reading. Step 3, teach out loud. Now pretend you are explaining to someone who knows nothing about English. Speak slowly and clearly. Imagine your student asking you questions and try to answer them. If you make mistakes or forget something, it means you need to review that part. Harvard students love this process because it shows exactly where their weak points are. Step 4, teach in writing. After explaining out loud, write your explanation in. Oh, well, a simple way is if you are creating a mini lesson for a friend. Writing forces you to think about structure and clarity, which makes your own understanding stronger. Step 5, repeat over days. The more times you teach the same concept, the more natural it becomes for you. Soon, you won't even think. The explanations will flow naturally, and that's when you know you've mastered it. It exposes gaps in your understanding so you can fix them. It makes your brain process the information more deeply. It builds confidence in speaking because you practice explaining ideas out loud. If you do this every week, you will start to feel like English is something you can control, not something you are chasing. Reading like a scholar habit 5, reading like a scholar. The Harvard reading method. Reading is one of the most powerful tools for learning English, but most learners read the wrong way. They just go through the words quickly hoping to finish instead of to understand, remember, and use what they read. Harvard students read differently. They read like scholars. That means they choose reading material strategically. They take notes while reading. They connect what they read to their existing knowledge. They review and apply what they've read. Step 1, choose the right material. Don't read things that are so hard you understand nothing. And don't read things so easy you learn nothing. You're reading. Material should be just challenging enough. You understand about 70 to 80%, but still find new words and phrases to learn. Good choices for English learners. Short news articles, stories for learners, English blogs or magazines on topics you enjoy. Step 2, read actively, not passively. Passive reading is when your eyes move, but your brain is elsewhere. Active reading means you highlight new words, underline useful phrases, pause to think, do I really understand this sentence? Harvard students constantly interact with the text. They don't just let it pass through their eyes. Step 3, take notes the Harvard way. While reading, write down new words and their meanings. Example sentences, preferably from the text itself. Any ideas or opinions you have about what you read. This transforms reading into a learning session instead of just a leisure activity. Step 4, summarize in your own words. After finishing a section, close the book or article and explain it out loud. Write a short summary in English. Apply immediately. This strengthens both comprehension and memory. Step 5, apply immediately. Learning a new word or phrase is useless unless you use it. Right after reading, make 2 to 3 sentences of your own with the new words. This signals to your brain. This is important. Keep it. Why reading like a scholar? Changes everything. You learn vocabulary in context, which is easier to remember. You improve grammar naturally by seeing correct sentences repeatedly. You get ideas and expressions you can use immediately in speaking and writing. This is why Harvard students who read actively often speak and write far above average because they are constantly feeding their brain with quality language. Speaking through. Immersion habit 6, speaking through immersion. The Harvard conversation strategy. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is treating speaking as something separate, something they do only when they feel ready. Harvard students don't wait until they're ready to speak in a new subject. They immerse themselves in it from day one because they know speaking is not the final step. It's part of the learning process itself. In English learning, immersion doesn't have to mean living in an English-speaking country. It means creating an environment where English is around you, in your ears, in your mouth, in your thinking every single day. Stepone, replace input with English. From Themament, you wake up, start replacing your usual content with English, your phone language settings, music playlists in English, social media feeds that post in English, news or articles in English. The more your brain sees and hears English, the faster it adapts. Harvard students use the same idea with their subjects. They surround themselves with the vocabulary, discussions, and ideas of their field until it becomes natural. Step 2, shadowing. This is one of the most powerful speaking techniques ever created, and it's used in language training at top universities. How to do it. Play a short English audio or video. As soon as the speaker talks, try to repeat at the same time, matching their tone, speed, and pronunciation as closely as possible. Don't pause to think too much. This is about training your mouth and brain to work together. Shadowing is like lifting weights for your speaking muscles. It forces your mouth to move in new ways and makes your pronunciation more natural over time. Step 3, speak daily, even if alone. Harvard students in any subject constantly talk about what they are learning with friends, in study groups, or to themselves. For you, speaking daily could mean talking to yourself in the mirror for 5 minutes, describing your surroundings in English, recording a short voice note about your day. The point is, don't let a single day pass without your mouth producing English. Step 4, real conversations. Eventually, you need real interaction. This can be with a language partner, an online speaking group, or even a friend who also wants to improve. The goal is not perfect grammar, it's real communication. Speaking is a skill built only through use. By surrounding yourself with English and practicing speaking every day, you break the fear barrier. Over time, you will notice your responses become faster. You don't translate in your head as much. You feel more confident in real conversations. Habit 7, consistency over intensity. Consistency, the Harvard success rule. If there was one habit that separates the most successful Harvard students from everyone else, it is this. They show up every single day. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. Many English learners study hard for 1 week, then take 2 weeks off. This stop-start pattern kills progress because your brain forgets what you learned during the gaps. Harvard students know that learning is like building muscle. Regular training, even in small amounts, beats occasional big efforts. Step 1, the minimum daily standard. Set a minimum amount of English you will do no matter how busy you are. This could be 10 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of speaking practice, reviewing yesterday's notes. Even on your busiest day, you must hit this minimum. It keeps the learning chain unbroken. Step 2, create a fixed schedule. Harvard students treat study time as non-negotiable. For you, this could be morning English review after breakfast, speaking practice every evening at 7 p.m., reading before bed. When it's in your schedule, it becomes a habit, not a decision. Step 3, track your progress. Write down what you studied each day. Seeing a long list of completed days will motivate you to keep going. Missing a day will feel like breaking a winning streak, and your brain will want to avoid that loss. Step 4, build slowly, then intensify. Start small and make it easy to win. Once the habit is built, you can increase the time or difficulty. Harvard students don't start with 10-hour study days. They start with regular sessions and grow from there. Consistency trains your brain to expect English every day. It stops you from forgetting between sessions and builds unstoppable momentum, conclusion over months. This creates compounding growth, the same way daily exercise transforms your body. And there you have it. The same habits that some of the smartest and most disciplined students in the world use to master their subjects, now in your hands to master English. But remember, habits only change your life if you use them. Knowing them is step 1. Doing them every single day is where the transformation happens. You don't need to be in a Harvard classroom. You don't need expensive courses or perfect conditions. You need a decision right here, right now. That English is not just something you try to learn. It's something you commit to with the same seriousness and focus that Harvard students give to their studies. If you follow these habits, you won't just study English. You will live it. You will think faster, speak with more confidence, and finally, feel in control of your learning. Now, if this video has helped you, if you've learned even one thing that can take your English to the next level, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Not because it's just another channel, but because here we go deeper. We don't do shortcuts. We give you the most powerful, practical, and proven ways to master English for life. So, subscribe now, turn on the notifications, and be here for the next lesson. Because your journey to English mastery is just beginning. The next step could change everything for you.